Welcome to our demo on deploying Micetro from the Azure Marketplace. So if you're already an Azure user or you've signed up for a free account like I have, you can go ahead and sign in and go to the Marketplace and then do a quick search for Micetro, and it pops right up, Micetro by Men&Mice, and we'll click the Create button. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a new resource group called Micetro RG1 and click OK. And then the region is good. East US works for me. And then we'll click Next to configure the virtual machine settings. In this case, it is telling me 4 vCPUs is my default, but that's actually a little large for what I'm trying to do here in this free trial demo. So we'll go a little bit smaller. That's actually probably too much still, but we'll go ahead and we'll keep that. Now, I've already created a diagnostic storage account, Micetro STG. You can go ahead and create a new one over here. I highly recommend choosing the blob storage, and then locally redundant storage should be fine. But we'll X out of that since I already have it, and we'll select a username and password. Now, this username and password is for the VM itself, not for Micetro, of course. We'll go to networking, and I'm going to go ahead and accept the defaults here. We'll talk a little bit more about Active Directory in just a moment, but I'm good with 10.0.0.0/24. If you have obviously another virtual network that you want to use, go ahead and choose that. And we'll click Next and go to the database configuration. Now, if you were deploying Micetro on premises, it would come embedded, or at least the free trial would come embedded with a PostgreSQL database. We will also work with Microsoft SQL if you choose to use Microsoft SQL in your environment. Now, in the case of the Azure deployment, we'll go ahead and use Azure SQL by default, and we'll give it a username and password. Now, this username and password is something I'm just creating in the moment right now. I don't already have an Azure database created, right? And then we'll go ahead and click Next and go to Active Directory configuration. I don't have a domain that I'm using right now or that I'm connected to, so I'm going to go ahead and click No, but obviously, enter in your domain and username information with passwords here in order to connect to Active Directory. And of course, Micetro works with Azure AD or your on-premises Active Directory as well. And we'll click Review and Create. And it looks like my validation has passed, which is wonderful. So we'll click Create. And our deployment is now complete. So of course we can go to our resource group and we see that there's a Men&Mice VM in there. If we just go ahead and click on that link, we get a public IP address. So we'll copy that to the clipboard and we'll go ahead and open a new browser tab, copy our IP address in there. And now, as you can see, we have a running version of Micetro. We'll go ahead and enter our username and password, which is administrator for our free trial. And click login. And here you have it. It is up and running. And of course, there's no information in it yet. No DNS, DHCP, just the default zeros for IPAM ranges. But if you would like to see how to import IPAM information or connect to DNS and DHCP services, that is in our deployment YouTube playlist. So you can go ahead and check those out and see how you can go ahead and get started. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.